gosh, we're going to start with a pro tip, all right? When video chatting with your girlfriend, you have to be really very careful and smart that your reflection in your sunglasses doesn't show the woman that you're cheating with. That's right, it truly happened. A woman discovered that her boyfriend was cheating on her by spotting a clue in a selfie. The video is going crazy. It's going viral. It has like over 1 million views. And you see in his sunglasses the legs of another woman in his car. Okay. Whoopsies. He got caught two-timing while he was FaceTiming. Yes. And he only has his selfie to blame. And you see, ladies and gentlemen, it's just an example of all the fun that we have here week after week as we talk about living the best digital life ever. We talk about all the gadgets and gizmos, and we chat about your privacy and security and what you should buy and what you should hold off with. We talk about Zoom and Facebook and Instagram and the internet. Oh my gosh, it just goes on and on. It's called the Kim Komando Show because, after all, I'm America's beloved digital goddess, Kim Komando, here with you once again.
We're not worthy. We're not
Yes.
worthy. We're not worthy.
And fear not, because our We're Not Worthy section of our studio audience, they are truly practicing social distancing. And you can find us on 400 top stations from coast to coast. And, do me a favor, drop a note to your local radio station and say thank you for carrying the Kim Komando Show. They always like to hear that. And you can find us worldwide on the American Forces Network Radio. That's in 175 different countries and 200 U.S. Navy, Coast Guard, and the Navy's military Sea Lift command ships at sea. I love that. And our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254. Once again, is the way to join us. All right, we're going to start with 5 things that you need to know to keep you up to date, because let me tell you, each and every day of the week, I just scour the tech news websites. And so that this way, we're totally up to date over at Komando.com. You have your daily consumer tech update that you can listen to right here on this station, or maybe you're getting it as a podcast. We have our breaking news free alerts. And if you're not getting those, you should sign up right now over at Komando.com/subscribe. And also for here on our 3-hour national radio show. And with all the attention that this week has been focused on, I don't know if you know this, but there was a presidential election. You may have missed some tech-related laws that were actually passed in parts of the country. Like Question 1 in Massachusetts. It deals with having the basic right to repair the stuff that you own. And in this case, they were talking about high-tech cars. Because if you think about cars now, what are they? A piece of metal with 4 wheels and then really a major computer on board. So basically, it prevents automakers from making it impossible for you or your service shop of choice to access the data that your car collects. It passed. Speaking of cars, in California, voters passed Proposition 22, which keeps gig workers like Uber and Lyft drivers classified as independent contractors instead of full employees. But companies can offer some benefits for the employees, like maybe a minimum base pay or maybe some healthcare subsidies. Over in Maine, Portland, residents voted to make that city the latest U.S. city to ban facial recognition technology. That's not Portland, Oregon. They passed their own facial recognition ban back in September. And as far as some of the other new legislation, I would tell you about Cole's Law, but it's really just a bunch of cabbage. And moving along, number 2, don't worry, it's just the police knocking at your door. For some time, Amazon owned Ring, makers of all those video doorbells. They've been making partnerships with hundreds of police departments across the country. And if a crime is committed near homes with Ring cameras, police might come asking if they can look at your video feed. It's kind of a gray area when it comes to mass surveillance. It doesn't actually sit well with a whole bunch of people. Now, that's why I wanted to tell you about what one police department is trying. Now, over the course of a 45-day trial run, police in Jackson, Mississippi, they're going to open up what they're calling the Real-Time Crime Center. Okay, here's why it's called real-time. Instead of spending the department's money on their own surveillance cameras, they're going to access the feeds from private ones owned by individuals and businesses. And all they have to do is sign a waiver. So this is not a Ring program or part of their existing police partnerships. The trial is limited to 5 private feeds. That is, unless it's deemed successful, and then it expands. Now, the good news is that you do have to opt in for this or any type of program. If this does concern you, just hop into the Ring app, make sure that you have the latest update, and you can toggle out a police request if you want. But again, you have to make sure you have the latest version. Maybe police just need help catching the person who's, maybe stealing the wheels off of their patrol cars. I hear they've been working tirelessly. All right. Okay. I'm sorry. Number 3, moving on, robots are not feeling love. The job market's pretty tough. And over the past few years, Walmart has worked with a startup by the name of Bossa Nova Robotics to add robots to about 500 Walmart stores. The camera-equipped bots, they scan store shelves, they look for products that are out of stock or out of place, but no more. They're fired. Walmart has ended its partnership with Bossa Nova, saying that according to the Wall Street Journal, there were a couple of reasons why the party's over. For one, it turns out that human beings, shoppers in the store, they weren't really comfortable with these robots just going in and up the aisles. Second thing is Walmart brass, this is really interesting. They figured out that people doing the same job, the exact same job as the robots, did in the same amount of time for the same amount of money. Okay. So who would have really thought that would ever happen? With more people shopping online, what they have is more Walmart associates that are walking store shelves to collect the orders, and so that's why they're up and down the aisles. Now, the Walmart employee said the robots just had a real chip on its shoulder. Number 4, you may remove your mask and kiss the bride. That's right. For many couples who originally planned to tie the knot this year, 2020 has, caused a big change in plans. So big venues, they're out. Even hundreds of guests are out, So now a lot of folks are just eloping. Maybe they go to the courthouse or they go to Vegas. But when business dried up for one California company known for really elaborate ceremonies, the owner came up with a brand new idea. I just love entrepreneurs. She's calling it micro weddings. The reimagined wedding. They want couples to avoid going to the courthouse or, I mentioned, going to Vegas. Instead, you can book one of their pop-up wedding chapels and show the world on social media. It all comes as a whole package. They have these beautiful outdoor backdrops meant, they say, for stylish couples. Weddings are COVID-19 compliant with state guidelines. Maximum 12 people can attend. But here's the deal. The picture-perfect wedding can then be shared with everyone in live time on Instagram, because 2020 means new things, including eloping on social media. Be sure to stick around to see who the lucky lady is to catch the bouquet emoji. And finally, you're going to hate me for this song if you haven't heard it. Our very own Mike James, he's been humming it up and down the hallways ever since I shared it with him this past week. For the last 3 years, the most viewed video on YouTube ever has been Luis Fonsi, Daddy Yankee's Despacito, who currently has more than 7 billion views. Not anymore. That's right. The Baby Shark Dance. Okay, once you hear it, you can't get rid of it. It's a 2-minute and 16-second video with a tune that relentlessly plays over and over your head. It's the new king of YouTube. Listen to this. Since being posted about 4.5 years ago, Baby Shark has now raked up over 7,074,000,000 views. Oh my gosh. 7 billion. Okay, think about that. The video has been watched 7 billion times. Okay, the population of the world is about 7.8 billion people. And now let's just listen to the big finale of the song.
Safe at last. Safe at last. Ooh, yes.
It's the end. Thank gosh. It's the end. That's right. I'll tell you one thing. This Baby Shark song didn't cost an arm and a leg to produce. Mike, you gotta say, that was okay, right? So, Mike, how many times have you been singing this song? How many times?
I can't. You're right. You hear it like just a couple of times, and I can't get it out of my head. It's a nightmare.
Baby Shark. Oh, it's awful. I have to tell you, this past week, there was one day where I had 6 video meetings. I'm like, what is going on? And then I'm like, oh, it's 2020, pandemic. Coming up in just a few moments, we're going to talk about Zoom meetings and what's really happening with Google Meet, because I know that you can go on Zoom and you get 40 minutes, but there's a better alternative, and that's Google Meet. And they've added a whole bunch of new features I have to tell you about. And our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is open. That's 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And just a quick reminder is that if you ever have a question for me, you can't get through the show, or maybe you're listening to this as a podcast, You can always drop me an email over at komando.com. Just head over to the website. At the bottom of the page, there's a link that says Contact Us. Just follow the little yellow brick road, so to speak, until you get to Contact Kim. And I read every single email that you send me. Again, that's over at komando.com, the official homepage of the show, of course. How about we get this hour started with Mary in Winter Springs, Florida. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Kim. I'm so excited to talk to you.
Oh, well, thank you.
I love presents, but I've received six boxes from Amazon that I haven't ordered, and I must be on a list somewhere, and I don't know where or how to get off of it.
So you're just getting these Amazon boxes in the mail that you didn't order. So, like, what kind of stuff are you getting?
Well, let's see. I have a karaoke machine, a hair cutting machine. Yeah, right. Hair cutting machine, a little robot that my cat can chase, some political stuff, what else? Just all kinds of junk. I'm going to have a yard sale one of these days because I'm 81. I don't need any of this stuff.
Come on. Everybody can do a little karaoke every once in a while.
Right, Christmas presents. They're all going to get the stuff.
You know what? That's great. It's a great idea. Just hand it all out. And then, whenever somebody says something like, I'm 50, why would I want a karaoke machine? You can just look at them and go, you know what? I'm bringing you back to your childhood. Okay, to your childhood roots.
Right.
All right, here's what's happening, Mary, okay?
Okay.
Is that you're part of a brushing scam is what it's called, a brushing scam. And with the brushing scam is that they are sending packages to you that you look like that. Basically they order it, but they send it to you. Okay. And then what they want you to do is that you're going to hop online on Amazon because you are a verified purchaser. Okay. Because you actually have it. So to get around any type of fake reviews is that you're going to hop onto Amazon and you're going to say, oh my gosh, this is the best karaoke machine I have ever seen in my entire life. Okay.
Okay.
Or
don't do that.
Or my little kitty cat, needed some exercise. And so now I just put this little robot out and it goes crazy about it. Okay. So it's all part of a scam. Now, what this means is that aside from you saying you're getting free presents in the mail, okay, and I'm always hoping for a diamond or something like that.
Right.
But it means that the scammers have your name and address, so you have to be really careful about what else you might be getting in the mail. They could be, false letters from the IRS that claims that you need to do something. Okay. And so I want you to be careful of anything that you see there. Now the good news is that you get to keep the free gifts, by the way. The Federal Trade Commission says if you get something unsolicited as part of a brushing scam is that you get to keep it. I would also alert Amazon, go into your order history and then, go into the chat and say, I've been receiving this stuff so that this way the folks at Amazon can kind of flag these products as maybe part of a brushing scam. Thank you so much for your call today, Mary, and start singing away. Hey, listen, Black Friday savings are here. Let HelloFresh spice up mealtime with simple, wholesome recipes and fresh ingredients delivered right to your door. For a limited time, get $90 off in savings. Wow. When you use code KIM90 at HelloFresh.com. That's code KIM90 at HelloFresh.com. So if you've been looking at Zoom and you've been trying to say, I don't want to pay for that, well, Google Meet has a whole bunch of new features. We have them all detailed over at Komando.com, including ways to make you look better and sound better. So you don't want to miss that. Stay right where you are. Our digital life hack's coming up. And it's all about the best ways to have a virtual Thanksgiving because, after all, it is 2020. So stay right where you are. All right, over at Komando.com, we have a great tip about how to use your iPhone's secret back tap feature. I don't know if you've tried this, but with the release of iOS 14, with back tap, it's a new addition to the accessibility menu, but I have it set up, for example, so if I tap the back of the phone twice, you can take a screenshot. 3 times, you can magnify what's on the screen. You could set it to mute the audio or to launch Siri, put on Do Not Disturb. It doesn't matter what it is. So you might want to try that out. It's actually kind of a lot of fun. Again, we have all the steps over at Komando.com. And this coming week, don't forget the iPhone 12 mini, the iPhone 12 Pro. You can now pre-order it, and then you can get it next week. I am ordering, yes, I have to do it because of you. That's right. I'm ordering the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and I'm getting 256 gigs because I looked on my current phone. That's always a rule of thumb. Look on your current phone and see how many gigs you have in use on your current phone. I got 191, so I figured I better get 256. And then as I checked out to look at the price, it was close to $1,500. Oh, wow, for a phone. Okay. All right, we've all heard the drill about ransomware. You get an email, your files are held ransom until you pay, I don't know, $300 worth of Bitcoins to get the files unlocked. And you might get an email saying that, oh, we caught you on your webcam at a porno site, and we're going to send this video out to who knows who on your family and friends list unless you pay us up. And then, of course, we all heard about cities, government offices, companies being hit by ransomware. And recently we had our first death because of ransomware, that hackers held a hospital system for ransom, and that caused one woman to be transferred to another hospital, but she died on the way there. And now hackers are really stooping to a new low. It's not just your medical records that they're after. It's your psychological, mental health records. Wow. And hackers are threatening to release your records on the internet unless you pay up. And here to tell us all about it on the special caller line here at the Kim Komando Show is Itay Morer. He's the Chief Security Officer over at Insights, and he is a true friend of the Kim Komando Show, always on board when we need him to tell us what the heck's going on. So what's happening, Itay?
Hi, thank you for having me again. So, yeah, you described it right. These ransomware attacks started from individuals and moved to organizations. But what we've seen last week, might have been even the week before that, is really a new low. I can't describe it any other way. Criminals actually breached a healthcare facility in Finland. The breach itself happened about a year and a half ago, and they collected information about individuals and their therapies, their psychological therapy sessions. And then you would think they would approach the healthcare facility and demand ransom.
Right.
Now that's good, right? Instead, they actually emailed individuals, I think they said about 10,000 individuals to this point, and told them, you have to pay us money in Bitcoin, otherwise we're going to release your healthcare records, your mental health care records on the internet. And really, this is something that I've never seen before.
Yeah, that's
blackmailing
awful.
the patients.
Yeah, I mean, imagine, who knows what kind of, ailments these folks may have, right? And then to get an email that says we're just going to release everything on the internet. Meanwhile, everything that you've told your psychotherapist, your psychologist, your psychiatrist, whatever it may be, which has to be for some people, some of their deepest, darkest secrets. And now
exactly.
it's out there.
That they know all of this, that they have all of this, including any treatments that you might have received or refused to receive, or were supposed to get any specific drug. This hack, by the way, cost the CEO of that company his job because apparently he knew about the attack and he hid it from the board. So immediately the board fired him. But still, there's so much personal information there. And, it's one thing if I know a criminal knows that I broke my hand, but it's a different thing if he knows that I'm requesting specific drugs or narcotics because of something that happened to me in the past.
Right. I mean, this is truly a new low. And, it's interesting, folks, that you may sit there and say, well, this is in Finland. No. Okay. Just because it happened in Finland doesn't mean it's not going to happen here in the United States. So one of the things...
Can I say something about that, Kim, for a
Sure,
second?
yes, please do.
This is important because if you've been following the news, the FBI issued a specific warning last week for hospitals that their ransomware attacks are going to be on the rise. And criminals behind ransomware are now doing what we call the dual payment option. They are forcing organizations to, one, pay us money for us to decrypt your files so you can go back to operational, and two, give us money for us not to put this on the web. And all of them are doing this now. And so this is not a Finland problem, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. And so what would you advise somebody who may be listening right now and they're like, wow, I went, I go to a psychologist, a psychiatrist, and And they might be afraid that this might happen to them, that their records would somehow get exposed.
So I think, first of all, there's no need to panic about it right now. I can tell you that in Finland themselves, they also set up some hotlines specifically for these patients to tell them that, hey, we're here to support you. We're going to get it. We're going to get it done right. I think it's important to always keep an eye, on who you're working with. That you're working with facilities that have, their HIPAA compliance
Right.
and all those security measures in place to protect you. You shouldn't be afraid to ask about it. Before I give my personal information at the doctor's office, I ask what you're going to do with this. How is it stored? It may seem a little bit intrusive sometimes to the receptionist, but hey, it's my data, and if you lose it, it's my problem. So I want to know.
Well, that's really good advice, because if I can't imagine what some of those folks are going through. I mean, just to get an email like that and to say we know everything, and it's it is truly, we got to figure out how to put a stop to all this garbage that's going on. I mean, you heard me talk about that woman in Germany that died, right? Because she couldn't get to that hospital, and now we have hackers and scammers, whatever you want to call them. I mean, that suddenly now they're going after your mental health records. I mean, it's a crazy, crazy world. Ite, thank you so much for joining us with this very important development in ransomware. It's always nice that you're on the cutting edge, Ite. It's always a pleasure to have you with us, and always keep us posted on things that you're finding out. We know that Thanksgiving this year is going to be very different from years past, right? I mean, we're not going to have the big gatherings, people going from place to place, the parties, the dinners, and just the general festivities. We're not going to have Black Friday either. But when it comes to Thanksgiving, how can you still have a family holiday that you love and enjoy, and you can reconnect with loved ones that you maybe have lost touch with over the year? And how can you still do that in a safe way? I mean, we all know about social distancing and masks, and, some states are saying you have to have all your festivities outside. But let's talk about having a virtual Thanksgiving. Number one, somebody has to be in charge. Choose the host, whoever that person is. Make sure that they are digitally literate. Maybe that's even you. And if you're not literate on everything we're going to be talking about, you're going to need to enlist some help from somebody else. Number two is you have to pick one platform, okay? Everybody's going to meet on Zoom. Everybody's going to meet on Google Meet or Facebook Messenger rooms. Now, there are some differences, of course. Zoom is free to use. It supports calls of up to 100 folks. And nobody needs to set up an account to use it. But here's the problem. Calls are limited to 40 minutes unless you pay $15 per month, and then you remove the limit. So as the host, if you want to use Zoom, you can pay the $15, and then you can get 100 people for an unlimited call there. It has end-to-end encryption. We like that for security and privacy. Google Meet, it's free to up to 250 people. You do need a Google account to set up the call. Free accounts used to have a limit of 60 minutes, but that's no more. It's now it's unlimited until March of 2021. Now, if everybody's on Facebook and everybody doesn't know how to use Google Meet, or you don't think they can figure out Zoom, is Facebook Messenger Rooms. It's free to use and can host up to 50 people with no time limit. All these work in a web browser or as a phone app, but what you want to do is have everybody try it themselves, or maybe with you as the host before the big day, so that you're not sitting there saying, how come grandma can't get online? Where is she? Where's Uncle Bob? Where's Uncle Steve and Mary? And you know the drill. Three is you want to pick some topics, okay? I know everybody likes to talk about politics, but it's really hard to have a political talk on a virtual meeting via Zoom, Google Meet, or Facebook Messenger, because somebody's always going to be louder. And then you have people talking over each other. And we want this to be a happy time. So what I want you to do is go from family to family and say, so what have you guys been doing? And give everybody 10 minutes, 5 minutes where they can talk about it. And then everybody can ask questions afterwards. And you want to have some fun. Okay. As part of this, and I'm going to do this with my family, is that you can play Draw-osaurus. Okay. We played this in our Zoom call with everybody here on staff. And it was so much fun. It's like Pictionary, but you're doing it on the screen. I got the word celebration, I could pick celebration, imagination, or hypocrite. Those were my choices. I chose celebration, and it was so bad. You can also play heads up game, or there's also bingo, right? And we give you the links to do all that. Number 5 on our list is you want to do a virtual potluck. Maybe somebody is destined to cook certain things and then you can show it off. And if you want to put some music to the party, Spotify has a new option for sharing your favorite holiday tunes with everybody. And then finally, you want to take that family photo. And this is really important, especially because it's 2020. Okay, hopefully next year we'll have a vaccine and everybody's back to normal, whatever the new normal may be. But this year, I want everybody to take a Zoom photo, okay, or a Google Meet photo or a Facebook Messenger photo of everybody on the screen so that this way you have that as something you can remember in years on. And then later on, you can tell your kids, back in 2020, you don't know how bad it was. We had to have a virtual Thanksgiving. We've got all the steps on how to do this over at komando.com. Just hit the website. That's komando.com. And when you're there, click the link that says Kim Show. All right, still to come this hour, there's an Amazon Prime scam that's making the rounds. It's not the brushing scam we've already talked about. It's another one. I got to tell you all about it. Still to come this hour, the Kim Komando Show. Just a quick reminder, if you're listening, the show gets interrupted for whatever reason, you can get the entire show as a podcast over at getkim.com, which means you also get the webcast. You get access to our Q&A forum over in the Komando community. You can blog and meet new friends and watch the show live, go into the chat rooms where we have all kinds of great people. I already saw today we have Jim and Gary's in there. I think I saw Bestie. I'm not sure. And we've got Mac and a whole bunch of other folks there in the chat room, Carol. So you always want to make sure you say hello to everybody. And if you are a Komando community member and you're not joining the chat, oh my gosh, you're so missing out because they really are truly, truly wonderful people. Now, over at getkim.com, you get a 30-day free trial to everything. After that, it's just a few bucks a month. And we offer great discounts for seniors, military, service personnel, and of course, our esteemed veterans. That's over at getkim.com. Errol in beautiful Boise, Idaho. Hi there, Errol.
Hello, Kim. It's
Welcome.
a pleasure to talk to you.
Well, thank you, sir. What's going on?
Well, we're in the process of moving from Boise. We bought a piece of property in southeast Idaho, just north of the Utah border. It's a little valley at the base of the Cache National Forest.
Wow, must
and
be
a
nice.
new equestrian development.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool spot. But our property needs a home on it. So we are moving to a community about 20 miles away, the closest place we could find someplace to live. And we'll be living there while the home is built and so forth.
Got it.
But my 2 horses are going to be living on the property in Idaho.
Okay.
And so I'm thinking that if I can watch the guy who's ringing my doorbell from my office downtown, there ought to be a way to watch my horses from my home 20 miles away.
There certainly is, sir. Yeah, there certainly is. You're right. If I can see who's at the front door, I should be able to take a look at my horses every once in a while. That's a good line. So tell me about do you have Wi-Fi, electricity? What do you have going on out there?
So there's electricity from an extension cord that's running up to the eaves of the building close by,
Okay.
and then down to a 8-foot railroad tie. There's Wi-Fi there, but the guy who operates the place is less digitally literate than I am, and he can get on Wi-Fi, but I can find it on my phone. And of course, it's locked and wants a password, and he doesn't know what the password is.
Oh, that's not good.
His phone just hooks on automatically, and so it's beyond him and beyond me, frankly, to figure that out.
Oh, well, you're going to need the Wi-Fi password at some point, just to let you know.
Yeah.
So then that's as simple as, maybe if there's somebody who can come over and just, go into the router settings and give it a new password. And if he's never changed the password, there's a website called Router Password, and you can just type in the make and model, and there's always a default password. And if he never changed it, that may just be the password. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So, so that's really, and this is one of the reasons why we always tell people to change the password, because you can just go on the internet and get a password, the default one. Normally it's like 1234 or something like that. Okay.
Yeah. He showed me some sort of, he thought it was a password. It was looked like 15 digits or something like that, letters.
Yeah, it could be just about anything at that point. So assuming that you get the password, what we're going to do is I'm going to send you a link, is that you're going to want something, a really nice camera that is outdoor rated, for the temperatures as it gets cold, there in Idaho.
Right.
And then also you want to be able to pan and tilt. You can also
That would be nice,
and then also I want to give you like a nice degree of range. And so like a Nest camera only has 130 degrees viewing. I'm going to give you something, I want to recommend something better that has a full range. In addition to that, you'll be able to talk and you'll be able to listen to hear what's going on. And we want night vision as well. And I want to give you a nice 1080p picture that's a HD quality picture. So for something like that, you're probably looking in the range of about $350. And what I'll do is I'll post a link to some cameras that for you to take a look at. And I'll actually email you directly, Earl, so that this way you have them. For everybody else, I'll put the links over in the Q&A forum over at komando.com/community. Stay right where you are. Thank you so much for your call, by the way. We have an Amazon Prime scam I need to tell you about here on the Kim Komando Show. Hey, thanks for watching a past episode of my national radio show. That's why it's called The Kim Komando Show Rewind. Now, to get the entire show, all 3 hours, when it airs live, or you can get on demand, head over to getkim.com and you can become a member of the Komando community. There are a ton of perks. Aside from just the show, you get free ebooks, a place to get answers to your tech questions, and more of me. So come on, what are you waiting for? Click that link right now and become a member. And thank you.